Hello, everybody. My name is Kathy Sabara, and we're back this week to talk to you about informational interviews. So I'm part of Team Cheeky, as hopefully many of you know if you've tuned into our videos here on Thursdays before. With me, I have Mary, who does a lot of the private group moderation for our fellow Cheeky Scientist members, and Yaping, who you've probably never met before because this is her
Hi.
very first time on one of these live videos, but she's also a huge help for us moderating the private Facebook group and answering all of our cheeky scientist questions. And she's also an expert on our topic today, which is why I thought it'd be great to have her on. So last week we introduced this topic of informational interviews. So if you don't remember, we talked about informational interviews as a great way to really get your job search started and to build relationships with industry professionals. Essentially, it's a two-way conversation between you and somebody else in a role that you're interested in, and you're chatting about the day-to-day of the job. You're asking them about the company culture. You're really asking them for insights into the role and into the company, things that you couldn't generally learn online. And we talked about how important it is to start your networking and to learn more about the position, but also just to really keep it up throughout your entire job search because it can also give you insights into the application process. And if you build rapport with these people that you have informational interviews with, it can eventually even lead to a referral, which, as you know, is what we all want to have when we're searching for that industry position. So last week we talked about the informational interview itself, but I want to rewind a bit and use this video to talk about how to set one up. Because I think that's quite a big black box for a lot of PhDs because they love the idea of informational interviews, but finding out who to reach out to and how to reach out to them is a bit mysterious and can feel quite overwhelming. So why don't we get started by just talking about who do you reach out to? How do you decide who you reach out to? And how do you pick from all the employees at maybe a given company that you're interested in? So maybe I'll start with you, Yaping. So if you wanted to do an informational interview, who are the people that you would be targeting?
I think when I think about informational interviews, I'll think about what's the better way for them to be willing to say yes. So the easiest thing to start that would be try to look at your LinkedIn profile in your existing connection and see if anyone in your alumni group that has already have a job title that you want. And since you have that common ground, it will be easier to even just start to reach out to them, and and you can easily start with, "Oh, congratulations! I see you have done such and such. That's a wonderful job." Start with that, and if the connection is a little weak, you want to strengthen the relationship first, and after a while, maybe the person will feel a little comfortable and they'll feel like they'll start to turn a question back to you and ask, "Oh, is there anything you want to know or anything I can help with?" Then that will be a good start. Yep.
Yeah, that's amazing. I love every part of your answer, but I'll break it down a bit. So the first part of the answer was alumni, and I like that. So really looking to see who, as Yaping put it, are the most likely people to say yes. And that could be people that you already have some sort of connection with. So people in your alumni circle is a great way to start. I think on LinkedIn as well, it's quite easy to search for people in your alumni now. They have a special function that allows you to do that. Anyone else, Mary, that you would potentially reach out to for an informational interview?
Yeah, so someone you have a contact in common with, because you can bring that up, or depending on how much interaction you've had with the common contact, you could even ask for an introduction. And that always helps people sort of relax, and it helps build the relationship a little bit faster, a little bit better. And you want to reach out to people who have the positions that you're interested in, more so than, say, the VP of the company, because generally those people have more time and there's more in common, and they can actually tell you more about the day-to-day when you actually get to the information interview. So.
Yeah, that's brilliant. So we have alumni, We have second connections, so people who are connected to people that you know, so you can ask for an introduction. People that are in at the same level that you would potentially be in at the company. So rather looking at your level than more senior because they would have more time and more likely to say yes. So I think that's brilliant. It's a great way to start. And as Yaping and Mary hinted at already, you're obviously using LinkedIn, so you want to make sure your LinkedIn profile is ready and professional first, because the person will definitely look at that profile when they're responding to your message. Okay, great. So we know who, and now we want to know a bit more about how. So yeah, Ping, you already mentioned complimenting the person first, congratulating them maybe as a great way to start a conversation. So what are some good, maybe just some general rules in terms of when you're reaching out to somebody? What sort of etiquette, email etiquette or LinkedIn etiquette is good to go by? Yeah, Ping, do you have a few thoughts there?
Yeah, so you are reaching out to someone with a goal to be able to talk to them eventually. So make your first message short and make it all about them. So we know what we want, but you can't start with a title by saying I'm so and so and just start to highlight what you are good at. You want to start to compliment them on something they have done really great, or something that you feel that's a really inspiration for you, and start from there.
Yeah, that's brilliant. I know it's all too easy for us PhDs to want to start with, hi, I'm so and so. I'm a PhD in neuroscience. I have X number of publications. I went to this university. And then by the time you want to ask them a question, they've completely lost interest, and they think, oh, it's all about you and it's not about them. So I think that's brilliant. So, in terms of keeping it short, I think that's fabulous, and kind of opening up with some way of adding value. So, what are other ways that maybe we can, that opening line, like what are some hints about things that we can add there that would add value to the other person? Mary, do you have some thoughts there?
Sure. Yeah, you could say something, congratulations on your new position, or I saw the article you shared on LinkedIn and found it really interesting because of X, Y, Z. Anything that shows that you have looked at their profile and you're interested in them as a person and notice their accomplishments or something that they've done.
Yeah, brilliant.
Yeah, I want to add one more tiny thing. You really have to make sure you look at their LinkedIn profile, because on LinkedIn there's a notification, and they can easily see whether or not you have looked at their LinkedIn profile or not. And for people that are very experienced on LinkedIn, just judging from your script, they would know whether or not it's just even if it's a note, they can know whether or not you have checked on their LinkedIn profile or not, or just a general, oh, I like to connect, la la. Yeah, just find something that you can really compliment, something very specific you can compliment about. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's brilliant. And I hope everybody finds these hints really useful. We had a blog that came out on Tuesday. It was called What I Learned by Blowing My First Informational Interview. So it's a great summary of what not to do, but also tips on how to do it properly. So I'll put that in the comments as well. And I just want to reiterate, I know informational interviews might be a new thing for PhDs. Maybe they think, why does it matter? You care more about the resumes, the interviews, maybe even more LinkedIn. But I just want to emphasize how important these informational interviews are to your job search strategy. They provide you with so much insight. And Mary Ping, I'm sure you've both done a lot of informational interviews in the past, and learned so much that you just wouldn't get from a job description or reading up about a position online. And that will really matter when it comes to the interview, because the interviewers will see that you know more about the position than a typical person that's just blindly applied online. And it can really set yourself apart from the rest of the competition.
Yeah.
So with that, thank you everybody for listening, and thank you Yaping and Mary for joining me today. And if anyone has any other questions on informational interviews, please do let us know in the comments. We'll be happy to answer your questions. All right, have a great day, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.